This is a fake one-sided rivalry. We got Angel Reese taking more shots at Caitlin Clark unnecessarily. You in Indiana having a great time partying. We see all the clips. Why can't you just do your thing? Want
to see the exact moment Angel Reese's marketing stunt blew up in her face? Picture this. She launches her big shoe campaign smack in the middle of WNBA All-Star Weekend. Billboards, social media, full blitz, thinking she's about to steal the spotlight in Indianapolis. But then, disaster. Caitlin Clark gets injured. Ticket prices nosedive by 48%. And just like that, Reese's flashy rollout feels like she's trying to hype a party no one showed up to. The numbers don't lie. When Clark's out, the buzz vanishes. And Reese? She ends up looking like she's performing for an empty room. We're breaking down every awkward moment from that weekend and how the backlash is piling up. Comment baby giraffe if you think her stunt totally flopped. Let's get into it.
But can Sarah Spain and the media stop going out there and saying that like the Caitlin Clark needs to do something to stop all this, when it is very clear this is a one-sided beef, and the one-sided beef is not from Caitlin Clark?
Everyone expected this All-Star Weekend to be the turning point for women's basketball, the moment it would finally break into the mainstream sports spotlight. The plan? A headline matchup, Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese in Indianapolis. Packed arenas, thunderous crowds, viewership so big it would make ESPN XX rethink how they cover women's sports. The IT had all the ingredient of a Hollywood blockbuster, until it fell short.
We do start our show, though, with unfortunate news out of the WNBA. Caitlin Clark announced today that she will miss both the three-point contest and the WNBA All-Star Game this upcoming weekend in Indiana after re-aggravating a groin injury in that final minute of Tuesday's win over the Connecticut Sun. Clark had missed 4 games and the Commissioner's Cup final with that groin injury earlier this month, and now will be out for this weekend's festivities, which really stinks for fans. But you know that if there was any way that she...
But then, just days before the big weekend, the news broke. Caitlin Clark was out with a groin injury. Suddenly, the entire foundation started to shake. Fans who had been planning for months were blindsided. They had booked flights to Indianapolis with one goal, to watch Clark take the court on her home turf. Hotels were sold out. Restaurants were gearing up for crowds they hadn't seen since March Madness hit town during the NCAA tournament. Marketing campaigns were already in full swing. Corporate sponsors had poured serious money into the event, banking on the Clark-Reese rivalry to drive viewership and engagement. Nike had limited edition drops ready. ESPN was billing it as must-watch television. Social media was flooded with countdowns, highlight reels, and hot takes about who would shine brightest, and now the star attraction was gone.
Story we have been following throughout the past 2 days surrounds the superstar herself, Caitlin Clark, the WNBA star, the Indiana Fever star, Caitlin Clark. She's going to miss all the action on the court.
Clark's home state advantage was meant to be the perfect stage for her breakout moment. Indiana fans were ready to pack Gainbridge Fieldhouse and show the rest of the league what real basketball passion looked like. The storyline wrote itself. Hometown hero takes the spotlight at the biggest WNBA event of the year. But once word of Clark's injury hit social media, the dominoes started to fall. Carefully crafted marketing campaigns suddenly looked unstable. The narrative that everyone had bought into, the one driving ticket sales, media coverage, and brand investments, vanished overnight. You could almost hear the air hissing out of the balloon.
Caitlin Clark gets hurt, and guess what? Your demand vanishes because people ain't going to pay up to see these athletes that are ungrateful that their sport's growing. People aren't paying up for that. And we are here, right here. The tickets for this game, for this All-Star game, they've dropped by 50%.
This wasn't just any injury to just any player. Caitlin Clark had been the catalyst behind a surge of new attention to the WNBA. She turned casual sports fans into followers. She got people who had never watched a women's basketball game to tune in, just to see what the buzz was about. Her absence wasn't just a blow to the weekend. It meant losing the one player who truly moved the needle. The event that was supposed to be a celebration of how far women's basketball had come instead exposed just how precarious that momentum still is. All the hype, the sold-out crowds, the corporate dollars banking on record-breaking success. It all depended on one player being healthy enough to take the floor. And when she couldn't, the spotlight dimmed. It became clear just how heavily the league's recent rise has leaned on Caitlin Clark's star power.
But when it comes to the vendors in the arena, the shops in the arena, they're not going to have the same amount of people patronize their business as they would if Caitlin Clark was there. The surrounding restaurants, the surrounding areas, the surrounding attractions, they're not going to have the same number of people patronize their business as they would if Caitlin Clark was healthy.
What was meant to be a carefully orchestrated celebration of women's basketball instead became a stark reminder of how much work the league still has ahead. AS Clark faced a legitimate injury and let down fans who had been genuinely excited to see her play. Someone else saw an opening. While she stepped back, another figure stepped forward, ready to seize the spotlight and make the weekend their own.
Reebok, Angel Reese are taking shots at Caitlin Clark, using her as promo. Angel Reese, let's be clear here. Let's just be all the way clear here. Angel Reese is a solid basketball player. Angel Reese 100% has benefited from attaching herself to Caitlin Clark at every single turn. Her podcast, the first 3 episodes, all the clips promoting was bringing up Caitlin Clark. It was bringing up Caitlin Clark and all of the promo. People wanted to know what she was going to say. She used Caitlin Clark as promo.
Dropping your biggest marketing campaign in your rival's hometown while she's injured and unable to shoot up is a bold move. And that's exactly what Angel Reese pulled off during All-Star Weekend in Indianapolis. With her *I'm in Your City* campaign, Reese unveiled her Reebok signature shoe in dramatic fashion, towering billboards, a relentless social media push, and a message that couldn't be missed. This was a statement of dominance delivered right in Caitlin Clark's own backyard.
Angel Reese, I'm in your city. Walk in your trap, take over your trap. Post it on Instagram. There's about 15 fans there and Reebok put up a board. You would expect Reebok to put up a board. Let's never forget that let's never forget the gigantic Caitlin Clark Nike billboard in Chicago. Let's never forget that. So if Reebok didn't put up a board for Angel Reese,
the timing couldn't have been worse or more intentional, depending on how you see it. Reese's team built the entire campaign around being in Indianapolis, fully aware they were stepping into Clark's home turf. This wasn't just a shoe launch. It was a calculated statement, a bold move in rival territory designed to grab attention and shift the spotlight.
Continue to take shots at her, and then when them shots get fired back, nobody likes it. We don't have no videos of Caitlin Clark really taking shots at Angel Reese. Look at what Angel Reese and Reebok are doing for views. Walk in your trap, take over your trap. This is promo they're doing in Indianapolis, where Caitlin Clark plays. That is a clear shot. It's a clear shot. Like I said, this is a fake rivalry. I think you've won 1 game versus Caitlin Clark. You've never won in Indiana at all. It's just like you continue to attach yourself to her at every turn and users.
Let's be real about what went down. Reese plastered phrases like walk in your trap, take over your trap all over social media, even using Bankroll Fresh Track * take over your trap * on her Instagram story. When your main rival is sidelined with an injury, that kind of messaging, it sounds like you're trying to claim victory in a fight your opponent can't even enter. Fans on social media didn't hold back. Many called it opportunistic and classless given the situation. While some praised a bold marketing move, far more questioned why Reese felt the need to go so hard when Clark was legitimately injured. The reactions ranged from playful jabs to outright criticism over the timing.
Clark has never said a negative word about Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark has never said a negative word, or to be honest, when it comes to Caitlin Clark, she did show it by her actions. She didn't need to say, I'm taking over Chicago. She did, however, go and put up 31 and 12, set a career high with 12 assists, be the only player in the history of the WNBA ever to have 31 and 12 in a game. She did, in fact, do that and then try to hype up the Chicago crowd. So it's fair enough. You want to say, oh, Caitlin Clark did this, then show it with your actions. Go and win MVP. Don't just be like, this is my city. Don't just come in and be like, this is my city. You've never won a game. Has she won a game in Indiana? I don't think she's ever won a game in Indiana. I actually do not think she has won a pro game in Indiana.
Here's where things got really interesting. Instead of dialing back after Clark's injury was confirmed, Reese doubled down. While other players showed respect for Clark's situation and softened their competitive messaging, Reese kept the campaign firing on all cylinders like nothing had changed. The contrast was clear. While most All-Stars focus on celebrating the weekend and the league's growth, Reese made it all about her rivalry with someone who couldn't even step on the court to defend herself. One video analysis even pointed out that Reese's team executed brilliant marketing, designing a campaign meant to spark conversation, even if that buzz was controversial or negative.
With Reebok she's using, this is nonstop. She has attached herself to Caitlin Clark at every single turn, and she has benefited. Let's be clear here. Yes, she does receive backlash. She does receive negativity, but she has benefited greatly. She has made millions of dollars off of attaching herself to Caitlin Clark and using her to make her brand bigger.
What was meant to be a bold marketing play ended up feeling like trying to win a game when your opponent can't even shoot up. Taking over someone's city while they're sidelined isn't competition. It's opportunism disguised as confidence. The entire campaign showcased what one analyst called a completely one-sided rivalry. Reese was throwing punches at empty air while Clark was facing real challenges on the court. But the clearest sign the strategy backfired? The cold, hard numbers told the full story.
This is absolutely a one-sided rivalry. And we've got to say it like it is. Like, we can't say Caitlin needs to do this, Caitlin needs to do that. Let's be real. The only reason this is still a rivalry is because the other side of the rivalry won't stop it. And by the way, it is extremely beneficial for Angel Reese to be in this rivalry.
Want to see just how much Caitlin Clark means to the WNBA? Look no further than what happened when she couldn't play. Ticket prices plummeted, dropping from $121 to $64, a staggering 48% decline that hit almost overnight after her injury was announced. This wasn't a minor dip. It was a market sending a clear message. Without Clark, the product loses nearly half its value. TickPick data showed the All-Star Game was set to be the priciest in league history, with an average ticket price of $262 before Clark's injury. That record-breaking demand vanished faster than Angel Reese's credibility.
The ticket prices, the demand fell off a cliff. And it's not just the on-court product that suffers without number 22, Caitlin Clark. The entire weekend's economic opportunities have felt the fallout. This was conveyed with a July 18th post from NBA Central that wrote, quote, "The get-in price for the WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis has dropped 48%, from $121 a ticket to $64 a ticket, after the news broke that Caitlin Clark won't be playing." I mean, the tickets lost 50% of its value. These numbers are confirmed by TickPick's website, currently having the All-Star Game's get-in price at $64. In a July 16th article from Front Office Sports, which was posted before Clark announced she'd be sitting out, was $121.
Here's what this means for other marquee matchups. Caitlin Clark's presence drives demand like nothing the WNBA has ever seen before. When she missed regular season games in late May with a quad strain, resale ticket prices plummeted, dropping 47% for Washington Fever games and a massive 71% for a Chicago matchup. That's not just the impact of any player. That superstar economics at work, corporate sponsors and TV networks had to quickly rethink their expectations and adjust coverage plans. Event packages through WNBA experiences sold out well in advance, and the arena filled up within hours of ticket releases. But when the main attraction can't show up, all that planning and investment suddenly feels fragile.
From $121 all the way down to just $64 after news broke that Caitlin Clark won't be playing. These are people saying, I'm done. I don't want to watch. Caitlin Clark's not. I bought tickets solely to watch Caitlin Clark in the All-Star Game. I made accommodations solely to get to Indiana to watch Caitlin Clark in the All-Star Game. She's injured. I have no interest in that anymore. People are selling their tickets so much so they just want off of them. 121. Okay. You want it for 100? Oh no. Okay. I guess I gotta lower it to 80. Oh, you don't want to buy it for 80? Okay. I guess I'll lower it to 70. You don't want to buy it to 70? I guess I'll lower it to $64. The WNBA is paying attention to these trends. And they're seeing firsthand what Caitlin Clark is worth to this league.
The ripple effect went far beyond ticket sales. Merchandise, concessions, and hotel bookings in Indianapolis all took a hit. Local businesses had banked on Clark drawing thousands of fans to town. Restaurants prepared for crowds they hadn't seen since March Madness. Hotels were fully booked, expecting a surge in basketball tourism. Clark's absence didn't just impact game attendance, it shook the entire economic ecosystem surrounding the event. This highlights the league's heavy reliance on one player, a blessing and a curse. A transcendent star like Clark brings unmatched attention and revenue. But when she's sidelined, the whole foundation starts to shake. Right now, no other WNBA player moves a needle quite like she does.
Really unfortunate that Caitlin Clark missed it. The crowd would have been exploding. The crowd would have been exploding. The arena would have been exploding. Oh man, a big miss as far as the WNBA is concerned.
Let's be real about what these numbers proved. Everyone suspected Clark wasn't just another star, but seeing a 48% drop in ticket prices made it undeniable. She is the show right now. The WNBA built this entire All-Star weekend around her, and without her, fans literally value the experience at half the price. The market doesn't lie. While the economics were spiraling and making Clark's irreplaceable value crystal clear, the players chose at exact moment to make their own demands. Nothing says read the room like asking for more money while your biggest draw is injured and ticket sales are plummeting. That's exactly what happened when WNBA players showed up to All-Star warm-ups wearing "Pay Us What You Owe Us" shirts. The timing couldn't have been worse. The protest came right at the weekend's lowest point for fan sentiment, an event that just lost nearly half its ticket value because Clark couldn't play, and the players decided that was a moment to demand more compensation. To fans watching their investment lose 48% of its value overnight, what do you think that looked like?
I mean, you're going to mess around, and a large, massive group of fans are going to be like, enough is enough. We've never had to see anything like it in sports, but you don't see these other leagues going around talking crazy about their fan bases all the time, like this league does. It's continuous. They're running their mouth about the people that are paying money to see them. You don't have other jobs where people walk up. You're in a public job that's in front of the world.
The players chose the exact moment when their product's value was being questioned to demand a bigger slice of the pie. The WNBA is currently in the middle of CBA negotiations, with players pushing for better travel conditions, higher salaries, expanded rosters, and more support for mothers. These are important issues that deserve attention. But the timing made it seem like the players were completely out of touch with the economic reality unfolding in real time. Let's be honest about how this landed with fans. Social media blew up with criticism, highlighting the irony of demanding more pay when half the audience came just to see one player who wasn't even there. Comments ranged from confusion to outright anger, with many fans feeling like the players were biting the hand that feeds them. The optics? Absolutely terrible.
A bunch of players and coaches over the last few days have complained without being fine-worthy about officiating. I just want to see about your thoughts on if officiating is an issue and how it can be improved, because clearly there seems to be problems or a disconnect between what players and coaches feel and what officials are actually calling.
The legitimate concerns behind the protest got lost in the poor timing. Players are frustrated that their salaries haven't kept up with the league's rapid growth, especially with a new $2.2 billion media rights deal kicking in 2026. The WNBPA President Neka Owick criticized the league for focusing on salary caps instead of addressing player demands for fairer share revenue. But here's the thing. Other professional leagues don't stage labor protests during their biggest showcase events. The NBA doesn't have players wearing protest shirts during All-Star Weekend. The NFL doesn't use the Super Bowl to air contract disputes. There's a right time and place for these conversations, and All-Star Weekend isn't it. This added another layer of negativity to what was already shaping up to be a disappointing weekend for fans. First, Clark gets injured, then ticket prices plummet, and now players are demanding more money while the whole event unravels. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert called the negotiations productive and constructive, but players dismissed them as a missed opportunity.
I know as a fan of sports for 60 years now, I know that, no one's ever happy with officiating. All sports deal with it, but we're working hard to make sure we're putting the best product out on the court, and our officiating then follows that.
The protest brought up real issues, but it came off like players demanding raises while their biggest star was sidelined and the league's value was slipping. Even Clark herself said, "We should be paid more." But she wasn't the one wearing protest shirts during warm-ups. Here's the thing. None of this doom and gloom matters in the long run. This weekend proved Clark isn't just a player. She's a foundation the entire league's growth stands on. When she's out, ticket prices plummet by 48%. When she's healthy, the WNBA shatters attendance records and grabs mainstream attention like never before. Angel Reese can launch all the shoe campaigns she wants in Indianapolis. She can plaster *I'm in your city* billboards everywhere and act like she's taking over. But the numbers don't lie. Without Clark actually competing, Reese was just shadowboxing in an empty gym while fans stayed home. This setback only sets the stage for Clark's comeback to be even more powerful, and for the Fever's championship run in 2025 to be even more compelling. Drop a comment below with Baby Giraffe to roast Reese's latest stunt. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out.